There's a scene in Eat, Pray, Love where Elizabeth Gilbert, played by Julia Roberts, sits on the bathroom floor, crying. She's in a marriage that isn't necessarily bad but isn't right either. She's spent so much of her life shaping herself around others, what they want, what they expect, who they need her to be, that she no longer recognizes her own reflection. This moment of devastation is also a moment of revelation. She needs to choose herself. It's easy to disappear into love. So many novels, so many movies, so many songs tell us that love is about merging, about devotion, about sacrifice. We see Jack give up the floating door for Rose in Titanic, Gatsby reshaping his entire existence for Daisy in The Great Gatsby, Hazel and Augustus crumbling into each other in The Fault in Our Stars. The narrative is intoxicating. Love is about giving yourself away. But what happens when you give so much that there's nothing left? Consider Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. Their love was passionate, tempestuous, and all-consuming. Frida loved fiercely, but she never stopped painting, never stopped carving her own identity into the world, never let herself be just an extension of him. She was loyal to her emotions, but she was loyal to herself first. This is the key. Love doesn't mean losing yourself, it means sharing yourself while still being whole. Too often, we shape ourselves for the people we love. We start adopting their favorite movies, their preferred foods, their way of seeing the world. We think compromise is love, but there is a thin line between compromise and erasure. Think of Marianne in Sense and Sensibility. She throws herself into love, changes herself for it, and is shattered when it abandons her. And then there's her sister Eleanor, who loves just as deeply but never forgets who she is. She holds on to herself, and in the end, she's the one who finds lasting happiness. How do you hold on to yourself in love? You begin by understanding that self-love isn't selfish. It's not an obstacle to love, it's the foundation of it. If you cannot love yourself as fully as you love another, then what you're offering is not love but dependency, not partnership but absorption. Take a moment to ask yourself, what do you love outside of this relationship? What music makes your heart race? What books do you get lost in? What dreams do you have that exist beyond the presence of this person? If you start letting go of these things, you are letting go of yourself. There's a scene in La La Land that captures this perfectly. Mia and Sebastian love each other, but they also love their dreams. They don't abandon their passions for their relationship. In the end, love doesn't mean they stay together, but it does mean they both become who they were meant to be. And maybe that's a kind of happy ending too. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean closing your heart. It means making sure your heart beats for you first. If you find yourself hesitating before speaking, afraid your opinions or needs might push the other person away, that's a warning sign. Love should never require you to shrink. In The Devil Wears Prada, Andy Sachs initially molds herself into what Miranda Priestley wants, losing herself in the process. It's only when she reclaims her identity, when she remembers who she was before she let herself be reshaped by another's expectations, that she truly finds happiness. Love should feel like coming home, not like moving into someone else's house and abandoning your own. You are the protagonist of your own story, not a supporting character in someone else's. When you prioritize yourself, you're not pushing love away. You're ensuring that the love you choose is one that sees you, values you, and embraces you for exactly who you are. So, be like Frida, like Eleanor, like Mia. Love fiercely, but love yourself first. Because when you do, the love you give to another will be stronger, richer, and far more beautiful. The world romanticizes grand gestures and sweeping sacrifices in love. The idea of giving up everything for someone is glorified in literature, film, and music. We're taught to believe that real love means changing, adapting, bending to fit someone else's expectations. But real love, the kind that lasts, the kind that nourishes rather than consumes, isn't about changing for someone. It's about growing alongside them while remaining true to yourself. Take Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth Bennet refuses to change herself to fit the expectations of society or Mr. Darcy. She holds on to her wit, her intelligence, her independence. It's precisely because she doesn't compromise who she is that their love, when it finally happens, is strong and equal. She never loses herself in him, and in return, he learns to meet her as an equal. Compare that to Anna Karenina, who gives up everything for love, her social standing, her family, her reputation, only to find that the love she sacrificed so much for isn't enough. Her tragedy isn't just that she loses everything, it's that she loses herself. When you make someone else the sole center of your universe, you risk collapsing when they are no longer there. In The Notebook, we see Allie torn between the life she has built with her family's expectations and the wild, passionate love she feels for Noah. But what's striking isn't just their romance, it's the moment she realizes she has a choice. She has to decide not based on what others want, not even based on what Noah wants, but on what she truly wants for herself. This is what real love looks like, not just love for another person, but love for oneself. One of the most powerful real-life examples of this is Oprah Winfrey. She has spoken about how, early in her career, she found herself in relationships where she prioritized the other person's needs over her own. It was only when she realized that she didn't need to change for love, that she didn't need to shrink herself to fit into someone else's life, that she found true peace. Oprah's journey is a testament to the fact that love should never require you to lose yourself, it should help you become even more of who you are. Imagine a tree growing beside another tree. They don't merge into one, they don't sacrifice their roots to intertwine. They grow side by side, their branches reaching toward the sky. Love should be like that, two individuals standing strong, supporting each other, but never losing their own identity. This is why it's so important to check in with yourself in relationships. Do you still recognize the person you are? Do you feel free to express yourself, to pursue your passions, to be your true self? If not, it's time to reevaluate. True love, healthy love, should feel like an expansion, not a restriction. Audrey Hepburn, one of the most iconic actresses of all time, once said, "I was born with an enormous need for affection and a terrible need to give it." And yet, despite her deep longing for love, she never let it define her. She had romances, but she also had a life that was uniquely her own, a career, passions, humanitarian work. She understood that love is beautiful, but it is not everything. So, when you find yourself falling in love, remember to also fall in love with yourself. Keep the things that make you who you are. Keep your dreams, your quirks, your independence. Love should be a complement to your life, not the entirety of it. Because at the end of the day, the greatest love story you will ever live is the one you have with yourself.